You guys will not believe that we were talking and we thought this camera was recording. We did not finish our conversation. About 35 minutes conversation. And I went to the camera and found out that this camera stopped recording at 6 minutes.
Life Weekly with
I feel
Esther,
like such a
Amos.
big babe right now. I am on Spotify.
It's
It's
not
funny
a
and sad
state
at the
of
same
flow
time.
that I haven't been in years. The last time I experienced that kind of flow was in
Nothing else
2023.
mattered to me at that point. Let's get into this episode.
Hi, and welcome to a new episode of the podcast. And if you're new here, welcome to Live Weekly Podcast, the corner of the internet where the lessons and stories hidden in every week are uncovered by me, your host, Esther Amos. I'm basically here to gist with you guys everything that happens in my week, and that introduction was just a professional or corporate way of introducing it. I know it has been a minute and so much more. And every time I've been away for a long time, I always say this that I miss recording. I miss recording so much. I haven't tweeted about it. Things have just been happening back to back. And I felt like a failure for the for the longest time because I'm such a goals girly. I don't like when I don't achieve my goals, and that has put me into a lot of trouble. I've experienced many sleepless nights because of this thing this week, and I even found out today during service that it's something I need to work on because my identity should not be tied to how much work I put out and outcome. I didn't even know it was a problem because I'm like, what else will I be doing in my life if I'm not working? And then Pastor was like, you can just be. You don't always have to be doing. And I couldn't. It was actually a problem this week. But before I get into the insomnia part of it, let me fill you in on everything that has been going on. So I'm still in school. But before I get to how school hindered me from recording, since my last episode, I spoke about rebranding, and I've decided not to even rebrand again because all the names that I thought were unique and inspired by the spirit within me were all taken. And it's so annoying. I checked Instagram. The first name I had was the Unhinged People podcast. I checked. There was an Instagram page existing with it. And all the rest, I don't remember. But the one that I thought was perfect was the unhinged opinions or unhinged opinions or unhinged people. Everything unhinged, everything had been taken. And the painful part is that this podcast were not even active because I went to check and I was so pained. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave this life weekly and let people enjoy the novel experience. I just felt like the name should be a sentence. Something that has an active verb, sure. That's just what I wanted. But since I didn't see, I'm just going to go on with my Life Weekly podcast. And so since the last episode I recorded, I planned a killer episode the next week because I was like, you know what, I want to do an episode with all my friends before I leave school. And so I picked a friend the week after the last episode. I told her about everything. I even got a camera. And since I just had one mic, and I was like, okay, we're going to find a way to make this work. And then we started recording. We scheduled for Friday because I normally record on Saturday. But then school had an event that we both went for. I even saw her there and I was like, come on, there's no way we can even record again today. But we ended up recording on Sunday, and it was my first time recording with a camera. You guys will not believe that we were talking and we thought this camera was recording. We did not finish our conversation. About 35 minutes conversation. And I went to the camera and found out that this camera stopped recording at 6 minutes. So apparently the card didn't have enough space and I didn't know anything about cameras and space. And it only recorded 6 minutes. So all the time we were talking, it was just the audio. And I was even planning to use captions to salvage the video because I just have a mic, one single mic, and then people will be reading captions to follow along. So I was like, okay, since we have just 6 minutes worth of video, let me see if I can work on the audio. But oh my days, if you follow me on Twitter, you will see how frustrated I was. You will feel the frustration in the tweets because I couldn't salvage the audio. After editing with my normal sequence and everything, I checked Adobe Audio and I tried to use it too. But then it was still not sounding good. And I was like, but I use the same mic with my friends. And we were and it was both of us. Oh, we were three. And it was a bit okay. But then I realized that the position of the mic was what was causing the issue because I clipped it on her shirt, thinking that, to somehow catch my voice and her voice. But it didn't work that way. So I was like, okay, I can't do this. That even if I want to make videos, I don't want it to be anyhow. I don't want the work to be shabby and all of that. So I decided I will run it again next week. Next week now came. I was already planning and pumped and happy. That's how my unit just announced that we had general meeting by 10 a.m. I was like, oh my days. And then she plays football. So our schedules were just clashing. So I was like, okay, well, let me even try. That after the meeting, I'll come back, we'll rest a bit, and then we'll record. I already planned to borrow a mic from my friends. I asked two of them. One is my classmate, and another one is in my level, sha. And I asked both of them, and you not believe that these people messed up all the plans that we had. I was so pained. And all this thing made me realize two things. Number one is that people don't really have a sense of urgency when it comes to your own needs. And it's weird and painful because I was hot. I was like, how did we agree for this time? And then you come at this time. And I really need to record and everything. Everything was just causing friction in the recording process. And at the end of the day, I went back to the hostel. I eventually got the mic and everything I wanted. But then this same person that borrowed me, that lent me his mic, also wanted to use my light for a shoot. And so the times were clashing. He wanted to use it by a particular time, and by then I would not have finished recording, and everything was just so messed up. I was just like, you know what? I'm done with this. I was like, nah, this whole process is making me sad. And I don't know, it felt like I was giving up. And the guy was like, no, you still have to do this. And I'm like, don't worry, just what, keep your mic and everything. And I'll just keep recording solo episodes till I don't know. One day not one day, I'm actually actively saving to get a mic so I can have guests comfortably. Even if it's not a big podcast mic, at least a mic with a single receiver and two mics. And then the second thing I realized is that it's either people don't have a sense of urgency when it comes to your needs or when you propose an activity that you want to do with them, or they respond to your eagerness. So if your own energy is not high and if you're not the one pushing everything, they are not or they are likely to be relaxed. And I think it's weird. But I don't know if I also do it. Let me think. Do I also do it? No, I just feel like if someone proposes something to you, you should at least check up on them or ask. I'll be like, oh, are we still doing this? Are we still down? At least show a bit of interest. I know that they came to you, so you're probably feeling like the prize or something, but at least reach out to them. Like the person that asked me to be his accountability partner, I already replied and said I wasn't going to be able to do it because I have so many things I'm engaged in. Bruh, my brain. I have so many things I'm engaged in. But I still checked up on the guy, still asked him, oh, this and that. But it's not going to be as consistent as someone who committed to being your accountability partner. So that week, that's the week after my last episode, I was just down. To be honest, the only thing I achieved that weekend was emptying my laundry. I washed all my clothes, and it still doesn't feel like an achievement. But that was just it, and that's where I've been. And then the next Saturday, there was something else that happened. Okay, yeah, the first Saturday was the recording being cut off at 6 minutes. Then the second Saturday was when I thought I had prepared again, and then my unit called a meeting and everything. And I know there are 4 Saturdays in April. And then the last Saturday, yes, I went for a women in tech conference. Okay, I didn't waste my weekend for that one. I had fun. I had a good time. It was so nice to be in a room filled with ambitious women. Women that the women that have other things going on in their lives, not just relationships. These days I have been actively trying to build friendships with women that have other things going on in their lives. I know maybe while I was younger in a lower level, like 100 and 200 level, we just used to come around and gist about every other thing apart from career and money and future and our goals. But then in 200 level, I started realizing that this might actually be a problem. And so from then, I started taking conscious steps to steer the conversations in ways or in directions that point towards other important things in life. Like, bro, if you're a girl and you're coming to me and the only thing you have going on in your life or the only thing you think is worth talking about is your relationship with your partner, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be involved in that conversation. Or if I really want to talk to you, I find a way to stay, to change the direction of the conversation. So yeah, that's where I've been. I got stickers for my laptop from the Women in Tech conference. I'm so happy. I've always wanted stickers. I'm almost done with my product management course, by the way. And for this week, that's one of the things that has kept me occupied and without sleep. So I was trying to catch up on the courses. They now proposed or they now finally announced our capstone project and divided us into groups. But before I talk about how all that has stressed me again, I want to talk about getting your PVC, guys. This is an ad. I almost lost my voice in class one day trying to convince one of my classmates to get his PVC. I never knew he had that kind of opinion because he was just like, there's no point. I was like, what? I can't believe I'm in the same class with someone that thinks like this. What do you mean there's no point? No, no, no. I was pissed off because I'm like, this is exactly what these people in power want. If they can get young people to be so discouraged in participating in politics, then they have won. That is the real victory. Because see how everybody came out for NSAS and it dramatically reduced, and young people are so relaxed about getting their PVCs. Funny fact is that they even came to our school for registration, and I was able to finalize my registration process. And then most people were just chill about it. So we're like, oh, they're never going to vote. Never. Like they've already decided that they're never voting in this life. And I was so pained because I also understand where they're coming from. But then there are some things that are just worth giving a try, like fighting for. And then finally down to this week. This week has been a lot. I was in my little luteal phase, they call it. And I have not experienced as much cravings as I did this week. I craved chocolates. Oh my days. I know I like chocolates, but this week I craved chocolates a lot. And it was not just any chocolate, a particular brand. You guys. I was craving specifically Maltesers. I was like, oh my days, I really want Maltesers. Felt like I was going to go crazy if I didn't have Maltesers in the next second. And I went to our shopping mall in school. They didn't have Maltesers. I was like, it's going to be very financially irresponsible if I pay delivery of over 3,000 naira just to get a pack of Maltesers. And I was also craving Vigil. There was no Vigil. Okay, there was, but it was not cold. I'm like, why is this thing in the freezer and it's not cold? I was craving that, and then I was also craving popcorn. Oh my days. I don't even know. Like, this is the first. I even actually have to read about this. Like, why do cravings get more intense in some periods than some? And then lastly, I crave romantic love. This part was even annoying. This was the most annoying part because I was telling my friends to buy Maltesers chocolates for me, and some of they were like, if you had babe now, should you would just tell your babe to buy for you?" I'm like, these are the issues. These are the issues. It's people like you that has to make people go and enter a relationship they're not supposed to be in. Because what's the Maltesers I cannot buy for me? You're referring me to babe. No, I was just pained. I blame all these cravings on my little face because why? Why was I even craving it? And another thing that made me even crave romantic love was AU's new song. Number one, That guy, he doesn't care about his single fans for now. And then I listened to someone talking about his babe. And I was just like, wow. No, no, no. He was talking about how in such high regard and with so much love and with all the plans and things that he wants to do for her. And I was just like, this is so nice. It must feel really nice to be loved like this. Finally, to the thing that gave me insomnia this week, my mind has been constantly racing. I've said this in many previous episodes. I was so made on with school. I'm trying to work hard to be career ready before I graduate. And then this capstone project, we're arguing about picking a problem to solve. That has been settled. But then I have also registered to learn AI engineering on a platform. I haven't even started. And then there's my final year project that they've been asking me for chapter 3 since March. And I have still not started, or I started today. I just stopped to record because my roommate's not around. Another thing, my roommate has been around every Saturday. She doesn't go out again like before. And I can't be recording when she's around. Should I be listening to my episodes? She's not around right now, and I just quickly picked up the mic to record because I have missed recording a lot. And lastly, I also have a product sprint to do by 7. These are all the things that are keeping me awake and keeping my mind racing. Today in service, someone came and gave testimony that he has high blood pressure. I don't know what he has been thinking of, but I was like, Jesus, I beg go. I need to calm down. And I came back, I streamed CCI service. And anytime I say that, Pastor, God always gives Pastor what I need at the right time. People will not believe, but Pastor just was talking about identity in today's service. And then during the service, he spoke about um we played a little game about identity test, and I didn't write down all the sections, but in the section concerning work and productivity, I scored 17 over 20. And that high score means I have an identity, is it dysfunction or something? But I shall need to work on it. I need to work on it because it has made me realize that I tie my identity to my work. Like if I'm not busy, I feel useless. I don't know if I said this at the beginning of this episode already, but he was like, you need to be you need to be comfortable with just being and not just doing every time. And it's going to be hard. But after what I've gone through this week, I'm willing to take the steps. Like bro, after the service, he prayed for us and I slept like a baby afterwards, to be honest. I had the best sleep I've had in a while. So someone that came to wake me up because they wanted me to reply their message. I will still address that later. Let me finish my episode. So yeah, that is everything that has been going on so far. Thank you for listening up to this point. Share the episode, subscribe on YouTube. So yeah, this is Esther Amos signing out from Life Weekly Podcast. Oh my days, I have missed being here a lot. Bye guys.